All right, I'll tell you what, fast action, lots more than that. We're going to get it all in. We'd better get at it. We'll take time out and be back in just one moment.
Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.
Number one, my personal favorite, and our number one on this list is Lance Russell, the voice of Memphis Wrestling.
I do not want any confrontation on the thing. Okay. Hey, come on, Lawler.
Man, I don't know. That's the voice I grew up on at a young age. And Lance Russell, he just had the greatest voice of professional wrestling to me of all time.
Lance had a good voice. He knew the product. He studied the product.
It gives me an opportunity to sit down beside a guy who is a master at the business and one that I've known for a long time, Gordon Soley. How you doing, Gordon?
Fine, Lance, and real delightful to be here today.
You know, again, Gordon Soley could have made it as number one to a lot of these younger people, maybe your good old JRs or whoever. But on this list here, I hope our listeners can agree. If you don't, please feel free. Let us know. Give us your thoughts.
Now, you, Mr. Russell, I complimented you. I said you were a real man. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I can't help but believe deep down inside you didn't have something to do with this.
But I know several that did write in, direct message me. They had Lance Russell at number one, and Lance got to start way back in like 1959.
I was in Jackson, Tennessee, and I had been doing for a good many years radio sports and did television sports. And when the station over there started to carry wrestling, they said, hey, can you do wrestling? I said, hey, I'd love to try it. I've always been a fan, so that's how I got into it. They just added that to their programming, and I started doing wrestling.
You know, things I guess that stand out in my mind are, I can sit here and say, oh, yeah, well, he was in the NWA or USWA and the Wrestler Hall of Fame, the Wrestling Observers Hall of Fame, and all that. But the thing is, that's kind of the voice it is the voice I grew up on wrestling. And the way he called it, just that he live announced it, you know.
Love it. Unbelievable. The crowd absolutely stunned. Lawler, the champion. He beat Nick Bockwinkel. The King did it. He defeated Nick Bockwinkel.
I call it the Memphis tapes, even though I'm saying that. It's because by the time I saw it, it was on tape delay. We got out of Lexington, Kentucky. But they shot that live for like 40 years in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
And, man, it just came across. And he also did the live matches at Tupelo, Mississippi. Sometimes he'd go out to Louisville, from my understanding, or to Nashville and do some live matches as well. But he called the live announced taped house show matches from Tupelo. And, man, he was the one calling the concession stands brawl. And so I never...
It's caught under the damn door. What you're looking at is the wildest fight we've seen in the concession stand. All four of them bleeding. Oh, there's mustard all over us. I hope it didn't get in the camera.
You know, I was about 15 at that time, 14, 15, and we're watching it. And, of course, I'm saying it's live because it was live when it was taped. So by the time we saw it, probably, you know, the early, maybe a couple hours later that day or whatever, when it took place earlier or the night before, man, you talk about believability, and we've talked about that concession stand brawl, but just his voice of getting that over. We talked about in detail the absence of fans with the Lawler and Funk empty arena match. And Russell's there, you know, putting out, look, he just now lit a cigarette and said, let me put this out, you know, and, and just the way he come across, and he, you know, Katie, it's just one of those things where he stood there, he'd be interviewing someone and he'd say, you know, Jerry, get someone out here, you know, if they started brawling or fighting in front of me.
Okay, man, the guy just loses touch with reality. That's all there is to it. He did it. And, well, anyhow, Monday night, that will be Lawler's problem.
So, hell, he took bumps. You know, he unintentionally took bumps for the fucking company because they'd be brawling in front of him, and he took it so serious. He would try to get out of the way, but sometimes he'd unintentionally knock him over, and he'd take a bump, and he'd grab his microphone or lose his glasses. But the believability, and I know that I think he went to Lexington, Kentucky, and called matches too sometimes. So I know I've heard him live. I never had the honor of meeting Lance Russell, and I wish I would have, because he is my favorite all-time wrestler, or voice of professional wrestling to me is Lance Russell. And I'll just kind of let you finish it out from there. And if you all disagree, hit us up at BBBB. If you agree, hit us up at BBBB at the Bell to Bell Blaze.
I just want a reaction to it.
That's kind of all I'm going to say about Lance, because I'm getting too damn excited, and I know we're short on time. But Lance is my number one, and Jeremy's number one, and we'll go from there and let Jeremy do what he does best.
Yeah, you're going to fall out of your chair like Lance did with that take on that episode of Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was great. Again, he did that. Well, so he's a little bit different than I'm going to say that Cottle and Sully were, in that Lance would actually get himself into chest poking matches a little bit with the heels. Oh, come on. Don't you start with that smart stuff here with me. And not to steal from the 605 pod, but he was always disappointed in the bad guys. You know?
All right. Well, no wonder you keep him in that. Would you mind taking...
He's going to be in there till Monday night. And I'm going to bring this box down, and I'm going to open it up. And if there's anything left of Tommy Gibbard when I get through with him today, there won't be Monday night, believe me.
That makes me even more nervous in there as I found out what is inside of that.
So Lance is a little bit different, even though he had that same kind of stylistic veneer that a Gordon Solie or a Bob Cottle had, that same kind of classy, old school sports journalist. He was great fun to watch. He turned phrases better than anybody, and he had a delivery that was like a smarter Foghorn Leghorn.
Smart boy, got a mind like a steel trap, full of mice.
He had his ups and downs, as you well saw there, and sometimes was like that comic book character. There goes Hart. Boy, I tell you, these guys are absolutely getting crazy. Was kind of funny.
And watch him. Who was his partner? Dave
Brown.
Dave Brown. Yeah, I suddenly drew a blank on his name.
That's okay.
They were another kind of old school comedy duo team.
Lance Russell, I think he got the name Banana Nose. And Lance Russell, to me, is one of the greatest announcers of all time. They didn't take nothing away from Dave Brown, because Dave Brown, you're right there with him.
They had a delivery that was nice and smooth, but you could see that they had bits, and like, what do you think, Bobby? And he starts, no, never mind, well, back to the ring.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I always loved that about that. Yeah.
Well, that's about it. Son of a gun, we've enjoyed it. Looking forward to next week. I guess we'll have to wait a week before we get to it, but we'll be right back again. For Corey Macklin, Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
Read the book that has the literary and wrestling worlds on fire. Pin Me, Pay Me, Have Boots Will Travel, by accomplished professional wrestler Bobby Blaze Smedley. The incredible story of one man's battle to overcome all odds and realize a lifelong dream. Travel with Bobby in the ring, on the road, and around the world, including inside stories from WWE, WCW, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and more. Forward to the book written by Jim Cornette. Buy your copy of Pin Me, Pay Me, Have Boots Will Travel on Amazon.com today.